our choir director, Mary Lou Basaraba, and we've got an in-force choir here tonight. We're so glad that so many of you are with us. And we're celebrating Samantha, who's becoming a bar mitzvah tomorrow. And so we look forward to celebrating with you and your mishpacha, your entire family, as we journey through this weekend.
Wait, and Rabbi, what else are we celebrating this evening?
Oh, yeah. So, and tonight we, as a community, are acknowledging that I've actually been a rabbi for 25 years now. Kind of crazy. On Monday, I will be receiving what's called a Doctor of Divinity, a DD. Some of my colleagues call it a Doctor of Duration. Go figure. Look, I was, did someone say deranged? I was ordained from the Cincinnati campus of the Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion in 1997. And so at this time, there's going to be a ceremony for many different classes who are earning degrees on Monday. So I'm so excited to celebrate. And it's this particular honor that Dr. Stephen Mueller from the Hebrew Union College, who is a longtime friend of Culver City and of mine, is here with us tonight representing the College Institute as well. So tonight is really a journey, and we're going to have voices from a lot of familiar faces from people who have been part of Temple Akiba for a long time. What's so important, though, is that we begin with music. We begin with music that will bring us on a journey up this beautiful mountain of soul and of spirit. And so we open with the singing of Hine Matov. How wonderful it is that we're here together as a community. It's in our prayer books on page 10. We now invite the newest member of the oldest tradition in the world. I was about to say your mom's name, Samantha, but accompanied by your mom, Jenna, your dad, Adam, and your brother, Jack, to come forward to kindle our Shabbat candles. We're in our prayer books now on page 2. We invite the congregation, all who are able in body or in spirit, to please rise. And we continue with the Kiddush for Shabbat. We're on page 5. L'chaim. Take a mask off and hold it down. Please be seated, everyone. With the exception of Herman Barnathan and Karen Marcus and Samantha, you guys can have a seat also. Samantha, come over with Cantor Liz Mazel Tov, everyone. Karen is a past president of our sisterhood, and Herman is here representing our men's group, and they have some presentations for you. Shabbat Shalom, Karen.
Shalom. Hi, Samantha. It's my honor to represent the Temple Akiba Sisterhood in presenting to you these lovely Emmanuel Kiddush cup and candlesticks. We know you've worked very hard to get to this point in your life, and your teachers, Rabbi and Cantor, and especially your parents, Jenna and Adam, are so very proud of you. We hope that you will use these candlesticks and Kiddush cup in many of your Shabbat and holiday celebrations. We hope that you use it with joy and with pride for all you've accomplished, and Mazel Tov to you and your family.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy this.
I'm here on behalf of the men's group. You know, this is a very auspicious weekend. You know that, don't you? Mm-hmm. Besides your becoming a bat mitzvah, we're celebrating Rabbi's 25th year in the rabbinate. So your weekend will never be forgotten by you. And I'm going to give you something else which will always keep in memory what happened this weekend. This is the Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible. Most people refer to the Bible, or some people I should say, refer to the Bible as the Torah. This is not just Torah. This is the complete Tanakh. Anything you need to know about Judaism, anything you need to know about life, how to live your life, you'll find it in this book. It's yours. It has a bookplate in it with your name, with tomorrow's date, both in Hebrew and English. So you'll always know. Anybody says to you, when was your bar mitzvah? Well, I'll open it up and I'll look and I'll show you, right? Okay. Read it. Turn it over and over. It presents so much information to you. It's your lifetime Bible. We present it to you on the eve of your bat mitzvah with Mazel Tov,
Thank you very much.
with Shabbat Shalom. And Mazel Tov and Shabbat Shalom to your family.
Thank you so much, Karen and Herman. Friends, we're going to continue with the singing of Lechado D. It's on page 20. It's one of our favorite melodies. And when we get to the final verse, we'll indicate it, but we rise at that verse and we face the entryway to the congregation and we actually bow as Shabbat enters our hearts and our souls. Mary Lou, what key are you in?
E minor.
E minor, okay.
La 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 Hanudi. La 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 Rakala. La 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 B'nai Shabbat. B'nai Shabbat nekaven. La 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 Hanudi. La 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 Rakala. La 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 B'nai Shabbat. B'nai Shabbat nekaven. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad ki yishmi'anu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'litchilah
Kevod Adonai, alayich nigla. Yai lai lai, ya la 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 la.
Shalom, Ateret Bala, Kam Besimcha, Uzola, Tochemunei, Am Segula, Povichala.
Ya la 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 Don't be seated, anyone. L'chavrut is about welcoming Shabbat, but it's really important that we make time to welcome one another. And we encourage you to take a moment, put your books down, to turn around or to walk across the room just for a moment and greet people into the sanctuary, meet someone new, and fill this place with Shabbat Shalom. Well,
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
We can do the same they're doing.
Right. Right. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom, Bob.
Okay, I'll take the first part.
Thank you.
Why don't you come in on page 6?
Hello, Mickey and Don.
So, we see compassionate one, merciful Lord.
That's Diana.
And then our lives are in your hands, our souls are in your hands, all of that.
Bob,
Never-ending
Yes?
love, never
you think
ending
it's a
love,
full house over
and then
there?
I'll pick up.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It does, doesn't it? Yes.
It sure does.
That's pretty exciting.
I'm glad I'm home.
Yeah.
What happened? Oh, there's that. Hi, Diana. Oh, Paulette. Hi.
all right, friends, now that you've met one another, come back to your seats.
No. I love the open mic.
Friends, if you'll please come back and find your seats, you can sit down this time. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Friends, if you'll come back to your seats, we're going to invite Samantha back forward, who's going to lead us in the Chatzi Kaddish. We're on page 26, everyone. Page 26. Sam, just you. Oh, you need your book? Yeah, get your book. Thanks, Jan.
We have it. We have one for you. It's fine. Here. We're good.
Yikadal v'kadash shemei Rabba B'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute B'hayehon uv'yomechon uv'chayedocho Beit Yisrael Bagala uv'izman kariv v'yimeru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach La'alam Ul'amei Amaya Yitbara Vishtabach Vipa'ar V'Raman V'Naseh V'Hadar V'Alei V'Halal Shmei Dekudusha B'Richu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tushbechata V'Nehemata Damiran Bama Vimeru.
Amen. Fantastic, Sam. Thank you so much. Friends, we continue now with our formal call to worship, the Baraku. We are in our prayer books on page 28. We invite the congregation once again to please rise. We continue with the watchword of our faith, the Shema Yisrael, on pages 34 and 35. Samantha will continue leading us in the chanting of the Via Hafta. We're on page 36, everyone.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות להם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Samantha, it's so nice to see the glowing eyes from every one of your family members. We can't wait to see how your journey continues, not only tonight, but especially tomorrow. On page 39 at the top, let's please read this introduction to the Michamocha together in English. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Michamocha is on page 40.
Adonai
Samantha, we're going to ask you to come back forward to lead us in the tefillah, the central section of our prayer service. We're on page 46. We invite the community to rise once again.
Adonai, sefartai tiftach ufiya ki techilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Velohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Hasadei Avot V'imahot, U'mevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, L'man Shemo B'achava, Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechayei Akol atah, Rav Leoshia, Mechakil Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'rochei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'o Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Mimit, Umechayem, Umasmiya Yeshua, Ne'eman atah lechayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom, yechallelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el hakadosh.
Thank you, Samantha. Please be seated, everyone.
Our next prayer is called Modim Anachnu Lach, and you can find some of the words on page 58, and it's a prayer that thanks God for being the rock of our lives, the shield of our salvation. This particular version mixes both the Hebrew with the English. Modim Anachnu Lach, you are our God, rock of our life. Modim Anachnu Lach, you are our God, shield of salvation, forever and ever. Modim Anachnu Lach forever. Morning, noon, and night, Modim Anachnu Lach.
Modim anachnu lach. We sing your praises, we sing your praises. Modim anachnu lach. Compassionate one, merciful Lord, forever and ever. Modim
friends, we take a moment now to close our eyes, find the light that is in our hearts, and nurture it with our thoughts as we pray silently. Dear friends, a lot happened in my life 25 years ago. Ordination was not the most important thing. The most important thing was meeting Ron, which happened, let's see, I was ordained in June, actually, of 97, and I met Ron at Break the Fast that same year. Ron, if you'll come forward and help with our Song of Peace. The greatest miracle, I have a background in song leading, and Ron has a background in chazanut, in a more traditional community. The greatest miracle was me learning how to let someone else sing when I'm playing guitar, and for Ron to let someone play guitar behind his singing. I think after 25 years, well, they'll be the judges. I think we got it to work.
Well, you also forgot to mention that we met at a break fast, and after 25 hours of not eating, you were delirious.
So we offer this song of peace to everyone.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tazim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tazim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tazim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tazim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך.
Ready? Shalom Rav
al Yisrael Amcha Tazim Leolam.
Please sing, everyone.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tazim Leolam. Tazim Leolam. Tazim Leolam.
If we turn to page 253. Hold on. If we turn to 253, right in the center we have our prayer for healing. And this is an important opportunity to allow those people that we're thinking of who can use an extra hug, an extra embrace, an extra prayer for healing, that we share those names. And we encourage you who are here via YouTube or Zoom to place names in the chat box so that we can understand those who are on your minds as well. So when we get to the center of the song, the prayer is "My eyes meet yours," please share those names out loud. Shabbat Shalom again, everyone. When I was a student in Cincinnati, I began my time as a rabbinic student in 1992 during the year in Israel. All first-year students go to Israel in the Reform movement. And then I did 4 years stateside in Cincinnati, Ohio. And it was in 1993 that I experienced my first Founders Day in Cincinnati, during which those who earn their Doctor of Divinity are awarded their degrees. And I remember sitting there and thinking, my gosh, it's a bunch of balding old men who are receiving this. And at the time, there had not yet been women who had been serving as rabbis for 25 years. Sally Prezand, who celebrates 50 years in the rabbinate this year, was the first. And that was in 1972. And so she didn't earn her 25th degree until 1997. That was the year that I was ordained. So for the first few years, it was only celebrating men. And I remember thinking to myself, that's a long time from now. Folks, it goes by so fast. Oh, Carol, right? I think to the initial interviews I had at University Synagogue with Cantor J. Freilich and other people from the synagogue. I think of my first bat mitzvah who's here, Jeanette Mills. Jeanette, you're only 20 years old now, aren't you? I mean, my gosh. I think about when I first came to Temple Akiba and Cantor J and Sandy Freilich whispered in my ear, wouldn't it be great if Lonnie could work with you someday? And all of a sudden, she was just beginning cantorial school, and all of a sudden these flashes came out. And Temple Akiba, as you hear from our wonderful choir, had been served by volunteers for decades, but we had never had mamash, in reality, someone who was trained in chazanut. And so Cantor Lonnie began with us, and she began pretty much the same time I did, but on a very part-time basis. And we think about what Temple Akiba has meant to us and meant to me personally. You are my family. You are my nourishment. I've said this before, and I say it over and over. Oftentimes, my colleagues will say, Zach, how did you find a congregation that you love so much? And I respond to them, it's just this incredible Hamish, raw energy that is unique to Temple Akiba of Culver City. And I make it fresh every time I walk in here. And that's my commitment to you, that I take the nourishment that has given life to this congregation for decades, but we breathe into it that forward-thinking light and energy that will bring Judaism into the next generation. I love the fact that next year, in our 7th grade class, there are 30 people becoming B'nai Mitzvah. 30. My first year, I think there were 9. This is in part thanks to Randy Bischoff, our senior educator, who, from our tiniest of tots to our older adults, brings education to the cornerstone of this place. But there's one other set of voices that I want to acknowledge. It's been a pride of ours at Temple Akiba to have interns to help us on the journey. Our rabbinic interns have all been from the Los Angeles campus of the Hebrew Union College, and our cantorial interns have all been from the Academy of Jewish Religion. HUC does not have a cantorial school on the West Coast, and we've been nourished and nurtured by the cantorial voices. We heard Liz Baseman tonight. She is our current intern. But when our community learned of this degree that I'm getting, every single one of our former interns sent in a video hello. And not only our former interns, but also all of our former song leaders, all but one of whom are now in cantorial school. And so, Randy and Catherine, if you are ready, let us watch their hellos.
Hi, Rabbi Shapiro and Temple Akiba. Mazel Tov on your 20th. Hi, Rabbi Shapiro and Temple Akiba. Mazel Tov on your 20th. Hi, Rabbi Shapiro and Temple Akiba. Mazel Tov.
What's so funny is I was just saying, after 25 years, this technology has not gotten any easier.
Hi,
It's just,
Rabbi
it's one of those
Shapiro
things
and
that,
Temple Akiba.
that often happens. We'll
Mazel
get it.
Tov.
What's so funny is I was there.
Hi, Rabbi Shapiro and Temple Akiba. Mazel Tov on your 25th anniversary of being in the rabbinate. We're so excited that you are receiving an honorary doctorate. It is so well deserved. You have brought so much light and so much goodness into Mazel Tov on your 25th anniversary all of the communities that you've served and into the greater Los Angeles community. You know, when we were talking about putting these videos together, of having interest and so much goodness into Mazel Tov on your Hi, Rabbi Shapiro and all of Akiba that served and into the greater Los Angeles community. You know, when we were
Right.
talking
Hello, everyone.
about putting these videos
Let's pause that. It's so great being surrounded by Cantrolani. Wow. Okay, we will get the video to you in an email, everyone. It's really very special from what I'm told, and we will have it forwarded. It's pretty easy to do. So, whoop. Okay, we will get the video to you. That's scary. There's a roast without me thinking about it.
So hopefully they'll get this fixed, but we were going to show the video, and then we actually have a few speakers as a surprise to you as well. So I first wanted to call up Dr. Stephen Mueller, who is our representative from HUC, Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion, and he wanted to say a few words about you from the perspective of your alma mater.
So sweet, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Cantor and Rabbi. Now, the secret here is that your cantor is actually my student. Before she went into the cantorate, she studied at the Hebrew Union College in our School of Jewish Communal Service, now known as the Zelikow School. Indeed, I'm most appreciative of being here, and thank you, Cantor, and thank you, Carol, for extending to me the invitation to join you. I am here on behalf of Josh Holo, our dean, our president, Andrew Rayfeld, your fellow board members. What you may not know is your rabbi is a member of the Board of Governors of the Hebrew Union College, which really defines, shapes, and leads the institutions. So you are more than simply a candidate for this doctorate. You are part of the institution's structure, policy, and leadership. So I will tell you that a 1997 HUC Cincinnati graduate has experienced an extraordinary career here in this extraordinary setting, but in touching the lives of so many here in Culver City and across West Los Angeles. Zach Shapiro is a unique contribution and leader in our community, in that his role, his leadership, his passion have really defined his rabbinate. His colleagues respect him, his teachers admire him, and he is perceived as really a leader amongst our clergy. In this week's Torah portion, Amor, we understand in Leviticus the giving of the sort of priestly guidelines, directions. And the priests, of course, are the framers of our tradition. Our rabbinic leadership draw from that and become part of this rich cultural and religious heritage. And indeed, your community could not have been blessed with such really an extraordinary expression of that kind of leadership as reflected by Rabbi Zach Shapiro. Mazel tov to you, to your family, and to your community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mueller, or as we used to refer to him in our program, just the Windmiller. So I'd also like to call up my father, Cantor J. Freilich, who worked with Rabbi Shapiro for 8 years at University Synagogue, and he wanted to share his memories and his time with Rabbi Shapiro back then, and also to share how he's seen him grow and the two of us as partners through all of these years. Thanks for being here, Dad.
By the way, Zach, you did say something. You said that the DD means Doctor of Divinity. It also means Doctor of Duration. But the other thing that you didn't say is it also means didn't die. And we're very glad of that, especially in your case. Well, 1997, there's an interview with a potential candidate for the position of assistant rabbi at University Synagogue. And in walks this nice-looking, curly-haired guy with glasses, and we fell in love with him right away. Right away. We just knew that this was the guy. Zach was with us for 8 years. Now, he was hired as the assistant rabbi. He was hired to be the person that kind of led mostly the youth groups and the nursery schools and the religious school. And what I didn't realize until a little bit more, in maybe a couple of months into his career with us, not only was he an assistant rabbi, he was an assistant to me as the cantor because he's so musical. And so there was Zach working with me and on his own with the nursery school kids, with the religious school kids, with bar mitzvah training, with all kinds of things that were happening. And it gave me an opportunity every once in a while. I didn't take this often, but I could take a Shabbos off once in a while. And I had somebody very competent who would be able to take over the service. Well, Zach was with us for 8 years. That's a long time, by the way, for an assistant rabbi. The average lifetime of an assistant rabbi is about 3 years, I think. True, because they go on to other things. And that's exactly what happened. At the end of the 8 years, Zach went on to other things, and there was about a year in between where he was working for the Union of Reformer Judaism, called UAHC at the time. And then all of a sudden, Temple Akiba came up. And what a match. And I think it was my wife that said, "How about Lonnie?" And the partnership began in that first year that the two were together. Lonnie was then, she was working as a Hillel director, actually. She had graduated the communal service school. And one of the few people that actually went into the cantorate after being a Hillel director. Well, the two of them together have made Temple Akiba this wonderful, spectacular congregation. It's warm, it's Hamish, it's everything that you want in a congregation. And I wish Zach, I wish you and Lonnie together, a good another 25 years. Can you hear it too?
Thanks, Dad. So I would also love to invite up, I believe, Carol and Kathy. Is that correct, or just Carol? So Carol is going to be officially welcoming us as one of our board members, our director of religious practice, and she will also be presenting our rabbi with a few surprises.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I would like to welcome everyone to Temple Akiba. Is there anyone here for the first time? Welcome, welcome. We love having you here. As we say, the first time you're a guest, the second time you're part of our family, so we hope you all come back. I wanted to thank Samantha and her family for lighting the candles, leading us in Kiddush, and for sponsoring us at the Oneg. Afterward, please everyone join us for the Oneg in the social hall. I would actually at this moment, before I continue, like to call up our president, Kathy Penso, and president of our sisterhood, Linda Park. Oh, and Rabbi? Oh.
Mazel tov, Rabbi, on reaching this incredible milestone, 25 years as a rabbi, and we have been blessed to have you as our spiritual leader for 16 of those 25 years. I was sisterhood president when you came to Akiba, and you embraced sisterhood just as you embraced all of us in a nurturing partnership that has flourished these 16 years. You always have words of wisdom. You inspire us to grow, to make the world a better place, to learn a little more. You always have words of comfort, words of joy. Countless are the lives you have touched through baby namings, more than 300 b'nai mitzvah, confirmations, weddings, funerals, all the life cycle events. You have been there for us. Not only have you served Temple Akiba, but you have been a mentor to so many rabbis and cantors, as we will see eventually, and as well as serving on the Board of Governors and other boards. You have made a lasting imprint on so many people and organizations. On behalf of this congregation, I am honored to present you with a certificate marking this milestone in your life. And here's to 25 more. Rebecca made that. And now Linda, as our sisterhood president, would like to make a presentation.
So I'm not going to repeat what Kathy said because she did it just perfectly and beautifully, but the only other sentiment I wanted to add to that was we've had the benefit of Rabbi Shapiro for long enough now, 25 years is long enough for him to be with our families moving from generation to generation. So that's an added bonus that 25 years brings, and 16 years in our congregation, is that he's my rabbi, he's my daughter's rabbi, he's my grandkids' rabbi, and we're so blessed with that. And it's my privilege and honor as the current president of Sisterhood to present you with a WRJ, Women of Reformed Judaism, Chai certificate, in honor of your 25 years, and especially because you are such a fan of Sisterhood. You're our #1 fan. Mazel tov, and I won't say for another 25 because I was brought up to say till 120. That's not the real. That's the factual.
I love it.
What an evening. Been nice to see the video, but we'll all see that soon. It has been my honor and privilege through my many years working, being with you side by side through my many positions on the board. You have become a friend, part of our family, and I just feel very blessed to have been able to be a part of that. We knew right away also, Jay, you had your interview. Well, we interviewed, I was on that, I think it was a 12-person committee where we were interviewing for a rabbi. And when Rabbi Shapiro came, all of us said, he's the one. It wasn't a question. You played the guitar and we were like sold. You have transformed Temple Akiba from the time you came in. You have always been so aware of also what our needs are. When you first came, also that first year, you had said, I'm not going to change anything for the first year because I need to see what this community is all about. I need to see what the members like, what they want, what they feel, and you went out and you spoke with people and you made sure that it wasn't you doing what you wanted, but what we all wanted. And that's been very important. And you have literally transformed Temple Akiba throughout the 16 years. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart for being with us, part of our family, and I'll say also another 120 years. And as the last little certificate, we also planted a tree for you in Israel. So I had to give something also. So thank you from the bottom of our heart, and you can go visit it next year.
I can.
Find the tree.
Find your tree. Good. So I just want to continue with, okay. Just to finish up, because I am supposed to be doing announcements tonight. So I wanted to thank the choir also. You guys have been wonderful. I love Mary Lou, thank you for being here and transforming also all of us and raising our spirits.
I really feel compelled, if I may, since you mentioned the choir. I came here at the same time as Cantor Lonnie and Rabbi 15, 16 years ago, and I inherited a choir and I inherited such a beautiful congregation. But I really want to acknowledge the congregation, the temple leadership, Cantor Lonnie as our music director, and Rabbi Zach for being so open to what is an ecumenical music and choir program here. Of the 15 people who are here tonight singing, only 6 are temple members. The other people come from the community and from my choral world. I'm the choral director for several organizations and orchestras, and they are representative, the same percentage for our High Holy Days choir, which is a similar number of temple people, and the rest expanding to a choir of 40 people that are coming from the local churches and the other orchestra choruses that I'm involved in. This is a direct reflection of the welcome and the ecumenical sharing here. I'm an honorary Jew, and I feel all that. I'm proud and privileged to say that. So Carol has been a big part of that, Rabbi Cantor. Thank you so much for having created such a beautiful environment for the music makers in our community so that they feel welcome to come here. And I thank the people, the 9 extra singers here tonight who are representing our community and our High Holy Days choir. Thank you for allowing me to be here.
Thank you, Mary. So just to finish up, we have so many things happening. I mean, it's like getting towards the end of our fiscal year, but we don't stop. We are having lots and lots of more events. I did want to mention one for our members, that our congregational meeting, our annual meeting, is May 18th, next Wednesday. We are having dinner ahead of time. If you would like to join us for dinner, you need to make a reservation with the office. And then next, let's see, Mitzvah Day. We're having Mitzvah Day, May 22. That is an incredible Tikkun Olam event where the entire community comes together, and everyone is welcome and to join us on that day. It's fantastic. And then, of course, there's always Shabbat services. So we're actually having on May 27th our Disney Shabbat. That is an amazing event where we have our Kabbalat Shabbat band, other people who join in, and all of the, most of the music is done to Disney songs, and we get to dress up ahead of time too. It's really fun to see that. Come in your costumes for Disney. And then last, I want to mention our casino night. We are having our big fundraiser, which is on June 11th, and we hope that everyone can join us for that also. So I just want to, again, welcome everybody. This has been a very special evening, and Shabbat Shalom to everyone. I'll see you at the Oneg afterward.
A word about Carol. A word about Carol Diamond. Carol, this is your first Shabbat back in person in how long?
2 years.
2 years. During most of that time, Carol from home ensured that each and every person who was attending via Zoom could connect, and she would troubleshoot if they could not, and she was the glue in her role as board director of religious practice who really kept that part of things going. And we missed you here in person, but we knew you were doing divine work, helping to keep us connected, both you and Ira, from afar. So thank you. It's just beautiful to have you back. I'm overwhelmed with what we've heard, and I want to just respond anecdotally. And Ron, I'm going to have you come up again for a moment. When I applied for my first jobs out of rabbinical school, I applied for 15 jobs. As an experiment, I was out of the closet for 8 of them and closeted for 7. This is again 1997. None of the congregations that I was out for asked me for a callback. And they were some of my best and strongest interviews. Of the 7 that I was closeted during, 4 of them called me back. They said, wow, you were great. But one of them said to me, we have a cantor who's gay, and having 2 gay clergy is just too much gay. So I said, no, that's a no-starter. There were a couple of other congregations that when I went in person, I could tell it wasn't a fit. But when I went to University Synagogue and I spoke directly to Alan Freeling of blessed memory, he said, come anyway. We love you. We're going to love you. Just be part of our community. A lot has changed in those 25 years, but there's still a lot that we need to do. We shouldn't rest on our laurels because it's still tough. And yet, when I came here to Temple Akiba, Ron was at my side the entire time. And what a blessing that's been. And Ron found his footing in his career. Jen Perry, who is here, who is a former LA City Council member and who's running for Congress right now, she can attest to what it's like being in political office the way Ron is. Ron is the Los Angeles controller. He has his own election coming up for state control. I don't think I'm supposed to talk about elections. All right.
Although by the way, at home, it's our 2.5-year-old children who are the real controllers.
Right. That's where I was going. Thank you for getting me back in that direction. What a long journey it has been, in that where I was 25 years ago struggling to find that first job, to be standing here with my husband now of 20 years. I met him 25 years ago. We were married 20 years ago. Raising these 2 children with a village of aunts and uncles and grandmas and grandpas who are here, and what a blessing that is. So we wanted to use this opportunity to offer one more song, and it's a love song. It's the song that I wrote when Ron and I were married 20 years ago. And we've sung it a few times for the congregation, but it's been a while. But it's the message of how the love that people have for one another can help build the future. And that's what we're doing.
And how can I help myself and not say a word?
Nope.
I remember when I met Zach, that 25 years ago now, at a break fast. And literally after 10 seconds of meeting him, I turned to a very good friend of mine that I was with, and I said, I want to go on a date with him because I think this will be the person I spend the rest of my life with. And what can you possibly know about somebody in 10 seconds? And if you would have told me that you can, in 10 seconds, figure out this is somebody you want to spend the rest of your life with, before that, I would have thought you were crazy. But I just knew, and each and every single day, you remind me how lucky I am to be with the most honorable and kind and loving and gentle and giving person that I know. And boy, did I luck out.
This is my beloved and my friend. הרי אנחנו מקודשים אחד לשני, אני ודודי ודודי לי. I close my eyes and I see your sweet face, and I smile because you're the one I love. My beshert, my life partner, your embrace is what I am certain of. Zedoni Vezerei, this is my beloved and my friend. Arei anachnu מקודשים אחד לשני, אני לדודי ודודי לי. Take my hand and we'll build our tomorrow, and we'll nurture the blessings of our home. Dodi, my beloved, finding you brings meaning to Shalom. Zedodi vezerei, this is my beloved and my friend. הרי אנחנו מקודשים אחד לשני, אני לדודי ודודי לי. Oh, thank you. I love you.
Actually, he wrote that song for our wedding. He surprised me. He had the guitar hidden under a table, and then he starts singing it, and in the middle of our wedding, he says, "Ron, sing with me." I'm thinking, I've never heard this song before. But somehow it worked out.
Thank you, dear. Love you. I want to say one additional word before our closing prayers. Earlier in the service, our choir and Cantor Liz and Cantor Lonnie sang the Modi Manachnu Lach. And I remember it was during her Cantor's first or second year in our internship when I said, you know, this has got to be more than an internship. She is going to be Temple Akiba's very first full-time cantor. And it was that song that did it. And it's truly, what is going on here? It's truly been a partnership that I have adored and loved. And the funny thing is that when I first came to University Synagogue, when I wasn't quite out yet, people would say, "Oh, Zach and Lonnie, they'll be a good match." And we are, but not the way they thought. So everyone, we're going to continue with our concluding prayers, beginning with the Aleinu on page 282. We invite the congregation to rise once again.
And while we're getting organized, I'd like to say thank you to Kathy Dyer, our flutist, who's been with me for 15 years in High Holy Days and came specially to honor Rabbi Zach today.
Thank you, Kathy.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liosef reshit, shelo asanu k'vei ha'ara
Please be seated, everyone. As we prepare for Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish, we offer this reading on the bottom of page 291. There are stars up above, so far we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. At this time, we remember those in our community who have died, who continue to shine upon us from their eternal resting spaces. Although we don't say Kaddish for her tonight because her funeral has not yet happened, it is with profound sorrow that I share that Judy Friedman died earlier this week. Judy used to sit right around where Herman is sitting, right next to where Herman is, a cornerstone of our community, who raised her kids, who both became confirmands here. May her memory be a blessing. Her funeral will be next Tuesday at 2 p.m. at Hillside, and the family encourages all who would like to attend. In Shloshim at this time, we remember Suzanne Sheridan. Is there anyone else who is observing the first 30 days since a loved one has died? Oh, Kathy, I'm so sorry. We add to their names the yard sites, the anniversaries of the deaths that occur on this Shabbat. And we begin with those who have plaques in our Sue and Jerry Erfrig Memorial Room. Tilly Bergman, Jack Browd, David Chappie, Martha Daneman, David Davis, Dee Gordon, Louis Horowitz, Rose Colbrand, Max Lash, Samuel Levine, Robert Margolin, Jack Potash, Leo Robinson, Fannie Faye Rubin, and Jenny Rudolph. Added to their names are the yard sites, the anniversaries of the deaths that occur on this Shabbat, including Joseph Axel, Edith Bandel, Joseph Bendict, Sarah Block, Frank Castleman, Rabbi Morley Feinstein of University Synagogue, Sadie Goldman, Selma Gottlieb Callis, Mary Grossman, Bernard Hers, Bessie Jacobson, Lillian Joseph, Ruth Karp, Sally Kravosha, Bernice Langman, Israel Maltzman, Selma Melman, Lillian Meyer, Helene Padauer, May Ross, Leon Aaron Rutberg, Alvin Abraham Schnur, Howard Serlin, Albert Chappelle, Bernard Sherman, Carol Silverman, Barbara Smith, Mayor Stein, Lillian Stern, Elliot Unterberger. Are there additional yard sites those in the community are observing? We ask the congregation that you please rise and turn to page 294, page 294, for our mourner's Kaddish. Yitzgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalmad divrach chorotei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'galau v'izman kariv imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach leolam u'amei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, Shemei T'Kudusha Barichu, Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechamata, Damiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osa Shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the one who causes peace to be known in the high heavens help us understand that by reaching out to one another, we create peace on earth as well. For all Israel and for all humanity, we say, Amen. Friends, we're going to ask you to close your books, remain standing, and when we finish with the service, we'll ask that you take your books and help us to place them on the shelf in the back. Cantor, what are we closing with today?
We are closing with the Singing of Osa Shalom, and we have a lot of hand clapping in this version, so we encourage you to put your books down so that you can free your hands to clap with us. Say shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Say shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Say shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Samantha, we haven't forgot about you. If you and your brother and your parents can come forward one last time, we can't wait to celebrate tomorrow, but we're going to close tonight's service with a motzi that you and your brother and your parents will lead us in.
I'll hold it.
Motzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices join in happy chorus as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Please, let's join in the social hall across the way.
You're the winner. You guys have that.